The Chargers have made another move by signing tight end Tyler Conklin to a one-year deal. So, what does this mean for the team? Is he going to be our number one tight end and a key pass-catching weapon for Justin Herbert? Or does this signing indicate the team is still eyeing a top-tier tight end in the upcoming NFL draft? With this year's draft being deep in tight end talent, it's definitely something worth discussing. Let's dive in and take a closer look at Tyler Conklin. Now, it's pretty exciting to see the Chargers picking up talented players, especially when you consider how surprising it was that Conklin was still available as a free agent. The Chargers managed to bring him in, and it's clear they're doing a great job of finding valuable talent without spending big money. Conklin has been in the league for 7 seasons, and last year he recorded 51 catches for 449 yards and 4 touchdowns. If we take a look at his performance over the past few years, it's clear he's a reliable pass catcher. In 2021, he had 87 targets, 61 receptions, 593 yards, and 3 touchdowns. In 2022, he saw 87 targets again, finishing with 58 catches, 552 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Then, in 2023, his numbers were nearly identical with 87 targets, 61 catches, 621 yards, and no touchdowns. Finally, in 2024, he had 72 targets, 51 catches, 449 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Conklin's consistency as a pass catcher is impressive, with an average of 9.7 yards per catch throughout his career. He's also remarkably durable, having missed only 2 games in his entire career, which is an added bonus. Tyler Conklin's durability is another important factor that stands out. The Chargers are clearly focused on bringing in players who can stay on the field and contribute consistently. This is similar to players like Najee Harris, who has been dependable and available for every game. Reliability is key, and Conklin brings that to the table. When it comes to his drop rate, Conklin has shown he's a very sure-handed receiver. Last season, his drop rate was just 1.4%, meaning he only had 1 drop throughout the year. In 2023, he had 2 drops, and in 2022, he had 4. Given the large number of targets he's had over the years, these numbers are impressive, highlighting his ability to catch passes with consistency. His drop rate averages out to just 2 drops per season, which is low for a player with as many targets as he's seen. His reliability reminds me of a player like Hunter Henry, who's known for his strong hands and catching ability. However, while Conklin excels as a pass catcher, his blocking skills are not his strongest suit. That's something that could potentially be worked on, but for now, he seems like he could serve as a pass-catching tight end similar to Hayden Hurst. Conklin can be relied on to make those catches, even in tough situations. For example, he caught 80% of contested catches last season, showing his ability to perform under pressure. In fact, he ranks 3rd among tight ends in receptions above expectation, which means he's consistently outperforming what people expect from him. It's interesting to compare this to the performance of the Chargers tight end, Gerald Everett, who had a career year last season with 50 catches, 481 yards, and 2 touchdowns. However, Everett did have a few critical drops in the playoffs that could have made a difference in those games. If Conklin can provide similar numbers with fewer drops, he could offer a solid, reliable option at tight end for the team. With the addition of Tyler Conklin to the tight end group, the Chargers now have 2 solid options that could potentially combine for 1,000 yards, especially when paired with Gerald Everett. So, what does this mean for the upcoming NFL draft? The tight end class this year is exceptionally deep, but with Conklin and Everett already in the fold, does it change the team's draft strategy? At pick 22, should the Chargers still target a top tight end like Dalton Kincaid or Michael Mayer if they're available? Or is it time to focus on other positions? The team also has some younger tight ends on the roster like Tucker Fisk, who seems more focused on blocking, and Michael Castles, who hasn't seen much playing time yet. With these players in the mix, the tight end room is starting to look more complete. so the need to draft a high-end tight end might not be as urgent. If the team does decide to look for another tight end, there are a few options. Would they consider a player like Elijah Arroyo in the second round, or perhaps Harold Fannin Jr.? Another option might be Mason Taylor in the third round. Personally, I think Taylor's size and skill set could fit well with what the team is looking for. A big, reliable tight end who can both block and catch. He's about 6 feet 5 inches, 250 pounds, which aligns with what head coach John Harbaugh likes in his tight ends. Given that the Chargers now have two solid pass-catching tight ends in Conklin and Everett, it might make sense to hold off on a first-round tight end pick. There's plenty of flexibility in the draft, and the focus might shift to other positions. While it's unlikely the Chargers will see a 1,000-yard tight end in the Greg Roman offense, after all, this scheme doesn't traditionally feature tight ends as primary receiving threats. The team could still benefit from adding another player to the position who can contribute, even if it's not in a huge yardage role. Ultimately, I think Tyler Conklin could be the guy who helps solidify that position, but it'll be interesting to see if the Chargers take a chance on another tight end in the draft. With Tyler Conklin now in the mix, the Chargers seem to have a solid combination at tight end. Conklin could serve as the primary pass catcher, while Gerald Everett provides more of the blocking ability, but also has the hands to contribute in the passing game. The question now is, can Conklin be the #1 tight end for the team? And if a top-tier tight end is available at pick 22 or in the second round, should the Chargers still go for one? Personally, I'm not sure if it makes sense to spend a high draft pick on another tight end. With Conklin and Everett already on the roster, the team might want to focus on other areas of need. Positions like wide receiver, running back, and defensive line, particularly edge rusher or interior defensive line, could be higher priorities heading into the draft. That being said, the Chargers have done a great job of filling out their roster with high-value picks that have the potential to make an immediate impact. The Conklin signing is definitely a positive move, adding depth and experience to the tight end position. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Do you think Conklin will step up as the tight end one? And do you believe the Chargers should still target a top tight end in the draft? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to like this post and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for all the support.